Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is Friday, September 13th, Friday the 13th, 2019. Good evening. I'm Dave. This is Let's Have a Chat with Dave. And tonight it's Friday, so we're talking about something out of the Forbes.com website, the Forbes magazine, the Forbes newsletter, Forbes. And again, bringing you the insight that, well, if you haven't signed up, you won't see them. And I guarantee you, they sign up for the newsletters. So here we go. And if you're not subscribe. I suggest you go to Amazon, subscribe out at Amazon, because you probably get a better deal than actually going to the website and Forbes.com and signing up there for the magazine. So if you still believe in magazines, the paper, then by all means, go ahead and sign up there. So what's in it tonight? Well, a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything. And Apple, we'll start off with Apple, get the elephant in the room out. Yes, I do use an Apple product. That's about the extent of that. I do not invest, full disclosure, in Apple. So they've announced, they had a really great announcement. They're redoing their watches, they're redoing their iPads, they're redoing their phones, they're redoing everything. So pretty interesting. Yeah, they're going to go with 2 cameras on the standard iPhone 11. They're going to go with 3 on the iPhone 11 Plus. So they got 3 cameras, and they're really touting, they've turned it more from a phone into a camera, because now they have 2 lenses. They're going to have 3 lenses, normal or zoom, macro, and then wide and ultra wide. So you're going to get that expanded, more epic view. So something to look forward to. And by now, most all carriers have are jumping on board and are promoting the Apple product. And I know I've received already 2 emails from my carrier saying, hey, make the switch, make a reservation. Now's the time, and all this and all that. So again, it's the flavor of the day. I don't plan on making the switch. As you can tell, I have an 8, and I plan on making a switch maybe to a 10, but not jumping all the way into the 11. It's just not my thing just yet. But either way, think about it. Think about it. They're going to start dumping these X's, and so the time might be right to go ahead and purchase an X if you don't have one, or an 8 Plus, or an 8XR, XS, XR. So all of those the 10s, the iPhone 10s. Same thing with the watches. They're up to the 5th generation watch now. So again, be on the lookout for those. Those are pretty interesting, really neat. And I really like what they're doing with the healthcare thing, where you become part of a study. And they said that they were surprised at how many people actually signed up for these studies. So it's pretty cool. Now I'm kind of, maybe I should sign up for something. So be on the lookout for that. And again, let's see what they do with that information on the back end, though. That's the other thing. They give up something to get something, so it's going to be a double-edged sword. I guarantee it. Eventually, something's going to come up. But they say it's not. Prove me wrong. There we go. That's all I'm saying there. Let's see what else. What else has gone on? The 2020 presidential elections are heating up, and things are happening. There's a debate, and just was it like last night or the night before, there was a debate. I don't remember. But the fallout I'm getting from this is really nothing news coming out. It's just more, now they're just, whoever's left standing is getting the finger pointed, getting called out, but nothing new is coming from that. And so how are you going to make change happen if all you just keep is regurgitating the same thing, not delivering on anything else? And you start creating that divisiveness and the division, even though they don't want the divisiveness, yet they're doing everything they can to create it, even within their own party. So this should be pretty interesting. I know I didn't watch it. I'm just kind of regurgitating what others have said, but I think the running theme across the gamut was that nothing new came out of those debates. So it could just be that, one, they're not used to so many debates soon. They're not used to being to debates. They don't understand what debates are, and because they don't have them when they're doing their job. And we're talking about those that are in office. They don't have debates. It's a lot of yelling, screaming, hammer banging, and not getting anything done. Thus, the situation we're in, and that's across the board on all sides, all parties. So we'll see what happens there. The Republicans have not had theirs. Apparently, there's two or three others that are saying we're going to run against the president for the nomination of the Republican Party. So we'll see how that turns out too. That's going to be pretty interesting. So a busy week this week, and then we're still dealing with the trade war with China, and healthcare is again becoming a situation. And again, they're starting to talk about it. A universal basic income plan that would pay every American $12,000 a year, but it's going to be one of those you can't save it, you have to spend it or lose it. That's how those medical spending accounts work. So that's an idea, but again, it's not feasible. People will run out of money. So again, it's like you present this, but you're not, don't pay attention to the person behind the curtain. Don't worry about that. That's not going to affect your pocketbook one way or another. It will. It ultimately does. Let's see. The U.S. government budget gap swelled to more than $1 trillion since last October of 2018. Increased military spending, rising interest rates on the government debt, and weak revenues earlier in the year have caused the deficit to rise by 19%, said the Treasury Department. So that does affect our bottom line, business bottom line, business owners, because it does affect. It will trickle down to us. It will trickle down to business owners. And at some point, it's going to have to hold somebody accountable, somebody to, who's going to pay the bill? What's going to have to give in order to take? And is that going to lead us to a recession? So again, these are these serious questions we have to ask. And then again, even if the interest rates get lower and lower down to zero, eventually that's going to be not enough. Something's going to have to give. And that could just trigger a recession just by doing that. Just by lowering it down to zero, and no, there's nothing further, because all the other scenarios are falling in place and still acting like as if interest rates are still at the same level, but interest levels bottom out. It doesn't affect all the other factors. All the other factors continue. Spending, low revenue generation, construction, manufacturing, trade. So again, all those other factors are not offsetting the zero interest. So again, that plays into it, and it might just trigger a slip into a recession. And we don't need another one of those. So again, we got to watch that very carefully. And as business owners, as leaders, you have to watch your situation very closely and figure out sooner rather than later how something like that will impact your business. Because if you're caught behind the 8 ball after the fact, then guess what? You're going to be caught in the wrong place, and it's going to cost you, and it's going to cost you big time, and it's going to cost your employees even bigger, because at some point that might be what has to happen. And that's a big no-no. You're not in business to fire people. You're not in business to lay off people. You're in business to make things happen, to create a product or service and sell that product or service with the help of your employees. And that's what business is all about. So if you're not, because you weren't prepared, then shame on you. Let's see, what else have we got? A little bit of everything. Oh, Warner Music Group, the music giant behind Cardi B, Ed Sheeran, and Bruno Mars, among others. Anything lately from Bruno Mars? Yeah, I don't think so. Has set its sights on blockchain, joining the $11.2 million investment in Dapper Labs, best known for making the viral blockchain game CryptoKitties. So folks, blockchain, I'm like slamming everything together. Blockchain basically is making sure transactional monitoring, basically in its own root form, is transactional monitoring. You've got to pay attention to this. It's happening. It's going to happen. It's already happening in some places. In other forms, you're going to see this a lot in logistics and logistics management, and it's already in play. To some degree, it might not be called blockchain, but it's already in play, especially in the logistics field. And this will impact every business, because again, either you're on board or you're not on board. And I don't see it that it's going to impact a business in a sense that it's going to stop. It's going to cause it to go out of business. No, but it will impact it and kind of delaying the process and slowing the process down, especially those organizations that are not on board with blockchain. And it's being driven, and you see the major players are slowly starting to creep into it. They're crawling and creeping. And folks, if you're not doing the same thing, if you're not diving into it and getting ready for it and say, hey, we have this established, we have this process in place, then you might get left behind until you can catch up. And then can you really, truly ever catch up? So a lot of information this Friday, but that's your homework, is to start dissecting what's going on And pay attention to interest rates, pay attention to blockchain, pay attention to your people and how they're feeling about things. Got more storms coming in the Gulf, or getting ready, not the Gulf, in the Caribbean, in the Atlantic, and stuff's brewing. So again, potential storms. So we're not out of the woods yet. So that's another situation to look at. So it's a lot of things that are going to impact business. But getting ahead of the curve, paying attention to it, dealing with it, making some contingencies, or launching some initiatives might just be the best thing for you and your business. Listen, everyone, I'm Dave Guerra, and I thank you for stopping by on this Friday evening. And if you're watching this on tape delay or replay, thank you very much. I do appreciate you taking that time. And until Monday, have yourself a great, fantastic weekend. It's full moon tonight, the 13th. It is Friday the 13th, so be on the lookout. Jason Voorhees is on the loose. That's an old movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a great night to check it out. Other than that, have a good one. I will talk to you on Monday, and we're going to talk sports.